My guest today is an actress and filmmaker whose career spans teen cult hits, horror TV, and surreal indie cinema. She broke out as a standout on MTV's Scream series and later wrote and directed The Blazing World, which premiered at Sundance and showcased her bold, visionary style. Originally from Fort Worth, Texas, she was a determined kid who once used AOL to search for a talent agent, and it worked. Now she's 39 weeks pregnant and juggling production and reproduction. She's scheduled to head to Spain to shoot her next film just 5 weeks after she's due. I'm pregnancy focused chiropractor Dr. Elliot Berlin, and you're listening to the Informed Pregnancy Podcast. Carlson Young, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Okay, first baby.
Yes, first baby.
Very, very close to the end.
Yep, absolutely. I can feel it.
I want to know all about that, but let's start at the roots. Where are you from originally?
So, originally, I am from Fort Worth, Texas. I moved to Los Angeles when I was 19 to go to school and continue pursuing acting, which I started, when I was in like a freshman in high school. So,
What gave you the bug?
probably it's hard to say, but I was a kid who like really loved movies and definitely acting was my first kind of love and something I really wanted to do. And luckily, nobody in my family knew how to help me pursue that. So it was truly just something I kind of endeavored towards on my own and found my own little way. But yeah, I always knew that this is what I wanted to do.
What kind of stuff did you like from entertainment when you were young?
The movie A Little Princess, I remember like watching that when I was 5 years old and falling so deeply in love with that film and trying to act out all of those scenes. And yeah, and then I think then I really fell in love with horror. I loved scary movies. I loved being scared. And I would watch horror films with my dad. That was a big bonding thing. I remember going to Blockbuster and being like, I want to watch the scariest movie ever. And my dad rented The Shining and we watched it together. And it was like a very formative experience for me. And then like I remember AOL, I had like a family computer and looking up like how to get an agent because I knew that that was some sort of lingo I should know if I wanted to do that. Yeah, I remember I like wrote on a notebook sheet of paper that I really wanted to be an actress and a filmmaker, please, listen to me. And I finally sent it to some agent in Dallas and had my girlfriend take a digital photo of me. And I was in eighth grade. I was wearing puka shells. And the agent called my mom and she thought it was like a creepy stalker. So she like ignored it for weeks.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah,
Usually.
most definitely. So anyway, that's kind of how I got started.
I love that you loved horror films when you were at that age. I mean, I still sort of am an anxious Jewish kid, and so even the Little Princess film scared me.
Yeah, well, it's gut wrenching. It's
Jeez.
deeply upsetting and beautiful film.
Oh. Okay, so then after high school, you moved out. So did you start working with the agent before
I
you moved?
did, I did, yeah. But my dad took me. I remember drove me to Dallas, and we had a little chat with the agent, and she sent me on like a commercial audition that I ended up getting, and then. I think my parents were kind of like, all right, well, we'll just let her try it. It'll probably not work and she'll get it out of her system. And I didn't. I never got it out of my system. And
Still in your system.
yeah.
Uh, you're going to get the baby out of your system pretty fast.
Yes,
So, I mean, I know you wanted it so badly, but those early stages of auditioning and getting your first roles, are
Mm,
those scary?
absolutely. I hated auditioning. Some people like come to really enjoy the process, but I mean, you get a little more, I think I probably got a little more comfortable with it somewhere in there, but I always was really drawn to writing and like kind of pursuing my own vision of it. So any job that I would get as an actor, I was always like a sponge, like on the sets and watching the director and the DP and like how everything kind of flows on a film set or TV set. And that was like a huge education for me. I really think that acting was my education on how to direct. Once I got a taste of directing, I was like, I can like never look back because this
I've
makes
heard that from several people who switched over. But it sounds like that you always sort of had a calling to the other side of the camera anyway.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like it was always my long-term plan. It was just kind of how do I get there?
I love that you were able to take advantage of being on set and doing acting,
Yeah.
almost like, starting a company in the mailroom
Yeah, yeah,
and
totally.
watching everything that happens and then working your way up to the executive level.
Mm-hmm.
Would you describe, because I don't know if people really understand the difference between directing and producing.
Yeah, there are things that overlap, but directing is, really like there's about a million decisions to make as a director, and I think a good producer guides those decisions and is just as educated about the overall vision as the director, but the director is the driver of the car and the producer is kind of in like the passenger seat when you need directions. Like I,
Oh, so the producer's ways.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, that's like a really, really good example.
But you tell ways if we're going to stop for gas.
Yeah, and also like there's a left turn coming up that it's not a protected light that we shouldn't take. So,
I see how the two pilot together.
yeah, they really do. They go hand in hand. I really respect and love parts of producing, but I like the role of communicating with the actors. And since I kind of came up as an actor, I know how to communicate with who I'm working with. And I especially know, well, I like to think, I don't know, but it's certainly my pursuit is that the creative process can kind of thrive and be born out of a certain level of emotional and spiritual safety. So I try to work with my actors as much as I can before in pre production to kind of establish what we're going for so that the chaos of a set doesn't derail our process because it is a very chaotic experience shooting a movie.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a tiny taste of shooting a TV show, and it was 101 million parts, moving parts, and many of them not really in anybody's control, like nature.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much out of your control, and there's about 300 people trying to control it.
That sounds like a massive challenge. And I'm German, like by descent, and I love planning every little detail
Yes.
before getting to anything that has to be done. But then, you really have to be able to adapt and roll with the punches once they come and just be able to keep the ball moving forward. It's actually quite interesting. I don't think I have the guts for it, but
You got to be flexible, like
yeah.
in every sense of the word. Yeah.
And also, you're like a therapist
Yes.
and sort
Yeah.
of like a
That was always
parent.
something that was fascinating to me as I've done more work and kind of understanding. I'm like, a lot of people really want a therapist or a mom or a dad or a sister or brother. You know what I mean? Like there's all of these roles that you like have to play for people.
Another reason why it's good you have some acting background.
Yes.
You could
Yes.
play any role you want to. Uh,
100%.
so after those commercials, how did your career progress?
After the commercial, I remember my junior year of high school, I had a tape request come in for like a Disney like short show. They were like these little short shows that would air in between programs, and I did a tape for that, and then I got it, and it shot in Austin, Texas, my junior and senior year of high school. So I was able to like stay in school. I went to the same school, kindergarten through 12th grade, and have a really, really normal experience of childhood until I moved to LA after that. And then I deferred a year from SMU and then transferred to USC, and I was an English major. So yeah,
It
it was,
sounds like a lot of reading.
yes, a lot of reading. But I didn't even take any screenwriting classes. I wasn't a film major. Everything I learned about what I do is from on-set experience as an actor.
Did you continue to act during college?
I did. I did. Actually, my last semester, I was working in Louisiana on a TV show, and I was doing everything remotely. So
Oh, wow. What about the Blazing World? How did you cross over?
yes, Blazing World was a sort of an idea, like a seed for a film that I had that was originally a short. And as I was wrapping up that TV show in Louisiana, I kept having like recurring dreams about how it would look and feel and the sort of, yeah, the seed of the story. And so I remember I took like a lifetime TV movie thing and used all of the money to fund my first short, which was the short version of The Blazing World. And I made that in 2018. It premiered at Sundance in the short section 2018. And then, yeah, I went on to write the feature script with my co-writer friend, and we shot the film version in August 2020. So, like, deep pandemic times with
Ooh.
like 25 people in a quarantine camp in Austin, Texas. And it was really a wild experience. And then that premiered at Sundance in 2021.
I mean, you're about to give birth to your first human baby, but was that your first baby?
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely my first baby.
And there's so much that goes into it. Really not unlike growing a child and seeing that
Really
finished product come out and just being so
eerily
proud.
similar. Eerily similar, but I suspect I will be like, wow, I can't believe I've thought these were babies. Here's an actual human baby.
It's different, but there's an analogy to it. Look, I've made a couple of documentaries, and I just remember the first time we did a screening in a room full of people, and they saw the film for the first time, and I was like a nervous parent, like, oh my God, I hope they like my child.
Yes.
And when they did, and they had the reactions, like all the reactions, getting weepy at the weepy parts and laughing at the funny parts, I was just bawling in that corner. I'm like, good thing I don't wear mascara.
Oh my gosh, I'm not surprised. It's an emotional release. Yeah, definitely for sure.
And now, since then, you've been moving forward with other directorial projects. One of them is going to happen right after this baby comes.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a really, really tight little window. But I'm excited. I always wanted to be the kind of mom who, has like a baby wrapped in, their little wrap thing on them and is working, like I really, really love that idea. And I would have loved to see my mom in the throes of what she was most passionate about, And so I don't know how it's going to look. I know I'm going to need some help, but I'm excited. I
Yeah,
think
I mean, also just like the way you talk about it, if this is the industry you want to be in, what we talked about is that there's so many moving parts.
yes.
You can't really all center around you.
Yes. And this will be my fourth film. And yeah, I think that I've learned a lot in each one since Blazing World. I mean, I've had like three more Odysseys since that. With every single film, like I get a little bit more efficient with managing my energy and knowing and understanding how to delegate tasks better. Yeah, you just get a little bit more efficient with how you're kind of like moving the puzzle pieces. And so my hope is that I have kind of enough experience under my belt to where when little baby Eva comes, I can dole out my energy correctly. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, you're so used to multitasking and giving everything the attention it needs, and then moving on to the next thing, giving that its full attention, then being there when the other thing needs you back, in this case, Eva. All right, let's take a little break. When we come back, let's find out more about your newest role, motherhood. Welcome back. We're talking to Carlson Young. We better talk quick before you go into labor. So now you're pregnant. Where did having kids, I know when you were young, you were passionate about acting. Where did having kids fit into your life?
I think it was always something I was like, okay, like when I'm ready, then I'll think about it. And I think when I was growing up, I thought maybe like 27, 28, that's the age that my parents had me. And so I sort of figured that would be around the time that I would be ready to have a family. And I actually met my husband when I was really young. I mean, we started dating when I was 22. So, and I'm 34 now. We've been
Well,
together for a long time and we've always wanted kids. Like we met and fell in love and we're naming our children like the next day. So we always knew that was something that we wanted. But then I got around the age of 28 and I was like nowhere near ready. So Cut to, I'm 34 and I was about to freeze my eggs. I already had my appointment scheduled and we did all the genetic testing. I tested my ovaries. And then like a couple days after that appointment, I like got pregnant, which is absolutely insane and
Like
was a
total accident?
total accident. Total accident.
Well, it's a happy accident though, right? Or I mean,
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's a very, I mean, it was a real shock to the system and it took me months to process because I was very certain that I was going to, take the freezing of the eggs journey and give myself a couple more years. But yeah, I think the universe or God or whatever just had other plans.
how did you guys meet in the first place?
We met through mutual friends. I was having a good old fashioned house party at my old apartment, and I was so young and just no responsibility. And yeah, and he put on a song I loved, and we started talking, and truly the rest is history. Like, we never looked back.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Hmm.
Two artists.
Yes, and he's truly the most wonderful, kindest man, and he's going to be such a good dad. That's definitely something that gives me a lot of peace and excitement is bringing this life into the world. It's like they hit the jackpot with the dad.
That's awesome. I can feel your passion for it when you say it, and it's really sweet. How has pregnancy been once you got over the shock?
Well, the first trimester was diabolical for me. Like, I was so sick and feeling just atrocious. And it was really shocking. I had no idea how bad the first trimester could be. I didn't feel like anyone told me or I had ever heard about that. Like, I saw like an Amy Schumer clip where she's talking about how, like, in the movies, people get morning sickness and, like, oh, I threw up once, and then like go about their day. But for me, it was really like intense and I had no energy and I was throwing up constantly for months. And then the second trimester came around and I got a little burst of energy and I was like, okay, this is great. I think I'm all right. I think I'm over the hill. And then the third trimester comes and it gets really brutal again. And now here I am at the end of
Meaning
the
the
third
nausea came
trimester,
back, or just very tired?
just like really tired and uncomfortable. Like, yeah, once the sleeping trouble kicks in, of like it's too uncomfortable to sleep. Yeah, I don't know, but your energy is just all over the place. And I sort of felt like, oh man, here we go. That was a little honeymoon period of the second trimester, but the third is here. But it's interesting, the past like week, I've felt like pretty good.
Oh, that's nice. The calm before the storm.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, Amy Schumer, she had hyperemesis gravidarum. I hope you didn't have that. I mean, if you did, hers did not go away until the baby came out.
So, what is that?
Hyperemesis. So hyperemesis means emesis means throwing up. Hyper means a lot.
Uh,
So it's, morning sickness. The so-called morning sickness is more commonly nausea
hmm.
and occasional vomiting or vomiting once a day. If it happens like more typically in the morning, that's what they call it, morning sickness. But it also tends to kind of fade out after the first trimester. With hyperemesis, like every single thing that you put in pretty much comes back out
Right.
multiple times a day. A lot of them that I've seen, the moms who have had hyperemesis don't even get that little relief period after you throw up and, feel better for a minute. They don't even
Well,
get that. And really, it can be quite dangerous because you need to get nutrition for you and for the
right.
baby. We have an episode 154 with Amy Schumer talking about her hyperemesis. And then afterwards, I brought in a couple of doctors who specialize in hyperemesis to really talk about the condition. It's a tough one. But, there's that. And there's people who feel amazing all for, I don't know what the big deal is. I feel so good in my first trimester. And then there's everything in between.
Right. I definitely didn't have that. I didn't have what she had, but I just felt like I had like absolute worst hangover of my life for like 4 months. That's kind of how I felt.
Yuck. How about otherwise? Like, how have there been cool parts of being pregnant? I mean, how's it
Yeah,
feel to have
yeah.
a
I
little
mean,
human inside you all the time?
it's really the past, I hate to say it, but it's like the past couple of weeks that I've been really getting these waves of excitement. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening and I can't wait to meet her. Yeah, I think because it was such a surprise and like not planned, and I've been working like really hard for this entire pregnancy. I've kind of dissociated a lot of the reality, and it's like just now setting in. Right here I am before going into it, and like I am finally feeling really intense and exciting wave of, yeah, like joy and excitement, anticipation.
It's really beautiful. I think some people feel it early on, and some people don't feel it until after the baby comes. So,
Yeah,
you're once again kind of in the middle somewhere.
yeah, exactly.
But it's really great that you feel that. When was the first time people said to you, "You look like Kate Mara"?
Oh my gosh. It has been just a broken record for, I mean, as long as I can remember, honestly, like at least 15 years.
I'm going to tell you how crazy it is. I am face blind. I have no face recognition. I cannot recognize my wife, my mother, my kids, or my own face because of my condition called prosopagnosia. I do not have any face recognition at all. I was born without it. It's weird for me when I go into crowded rooms and I have no idea who's there. If I've seen them before, if I haven't seen them before, and if I do know them, where do I know them from? I just can't use face. I have to use like smile and mannerisms and voice and other thing, laugh.
Mhm.
When I met you for the first time and I was sitting across from you in the room, I was like, holy cow, this is like Kate Mara. And I don't even know, it's not based on your face, but it is based on your face. It must be. But even your mannerisms are the same because that's mostly what I get it from. And
Right.
I was just like, you know what? Do you know Kate Mara? And you're like, I get it all the time.
I know, especially at airports. Airports, like people will come and think, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, no, not the droids."
So then I was like, I got to tell Kate about this. So I asked Kate, I was like, you're not going to believe this. I met somebody who was like your spitting image. She's like, who is it? Who is it? And I said, Carlson Young. She says, oh my God, I get that all the time.
All the time.
That's so funny. I got to get one day, we just all three of us have to have coffee.
Yeah, we do. We
It'll be
definitely.
fun. Kate, yeah. Well, she did an episode too, episode 122. Had a great story right before she had her baby.
Oh wow.
And now we're kind of right before you have your baby. I'm going to take a little break, and when we come back, I'd love to find out what you have planned for your very soon upcoming birth. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We're talking to Carlson Young, still pregnant, by the way, and about to be a mom. So, have you done any like reading, planning, prepping for number one, birth, which is right around the corner, and number two, postpartum, and number three, motherhood? Go.
Well, I think I'm prepared, and I think I've done enough prep work. I'm certainly prepared gear wise, nursery wise. Everything's ready to go. Bags are packed. Car seat is installed. Strollers. We don't have any more boxes. Been reading The Nurture Revolution. That book, I've been really enjoying that. The writer, Greer Kirschenbaum. And I've been really enjoying that. And I've done enough therapy and work, emotional work on myself the past decade to where it all really tracks, the neurodevelopment of the baby. And my husband and I are really, I think, up on the latest kind of science of it. So I feel prepared in that sense. I said earlier, but ignorance is bliss a little bit. I tried to prepare, but I also know that there's going to be a lot of things that just knock me down, knock me out.
I think that gear is where people nowadays do the most thorough preparation
Hmm.
as a trend. That's what I see, a lot of gear prep.
And there is so much gear and so many things where I'm like, damn, it is good to be a baby in 2025.
They got it. Yeah.
I'm
There's
like, this is so unnecessary, but I will get it anyway. Like,
Yeah, there's even so many categories of products, and then within each product, there's a category. There's so many products. I used to go to the baby shows, and they're going for miles. Literally, you could walk and walk and walk and just see product after product. And some of them are great innovations, but like you said, they got it going on. Some of those products I want for dad.
totally. I mean, these little children are like kings, queens, little duchess. Like it's really luxe for them.
Yeah, so gear is where there's a lot of research and work to do and some buying and unboxing and setting up. And I think people put a lot of effort into that. But, birth and motherhood are a little different. And I don't know to the extent that you could really prepare for it or not prepare for it. But do you have a vision of how you would like your birth to unfold?
Well, I do, and I don't know what to expect. Obviously, I hear stories and read as much as I can of what to prepare for, but I anticipate a total spiritual experience and transformation in this labor process. And I really hope to be able to endure the kind of uncomfortable pain of it as long as I possibly can and let gravity do its thing. And I definitely want the epidural whenever that makes sense and hopefully wait as long as possible. And yeah, I love my doctor. I'm excited to be in a hospital. I don't have a doula. My husband is, I say to him every night, I'm like, have you done your research on how to be my spiritual guide through the birthing process?
No pressure.
No pressure. And I don't know why I wasn't drawn to a doula. It's very up my alley. It's something I would normally run to, but for some reason my instinct has been like really, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how I feel at the end of this process. I'm excited to talk to you after and see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it sounds like you and your husband are really tight and bonded. And I think dualism partners are different from each other, but there is overlap, and maybe in your case, more overlap than most.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's a case to be made for that for us. And he knows how to make me feel safe, and he knows how important that is for me. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I can't wait to talk to you after.
Maybe it's because you just like scary stuff.
Yeah. And also, like, I really have an attitude of like, in every arena of my life, I sort of charge onto the battlefield with or without armor, and I either get like brutally slain or I can make it through the battle. So
All right.
we'll see.
Did you either yourself or together do a class?
We did. We
What
did
kind of class?
We did preparing for childbirth, like the Cedars kind of portal of classes. We did the preparing for childbirth. We did the CPR class. We did preparing for the baby for the next like year. So it kind of goes over doctor's appointments and everything to expect with the baby for the first year. So we've tried, and Isa, my husband, he's like taking notes the whole time. He's like so invested, and I was like, wow, you are a phenomenal note taker. I'm sitting there listening, nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, I think I get it. And meanwhile he's over there just furiously writing.
Oh my gosh, I think now we just have AI take notes.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
I love yesterday somebody was making an appointment in my office and she was took out her appointment book and it was like all pen and paper and color coded highlighting and things like that.
Love that.
And I
So
was like, oh wow, you got the original iPad.
analog.
Yeah. So people still do it the old-fashioned way. Are there any elements that you're particularly excited for or nervous about?
I'm excited to like feel the labor process come on because I know it's a bit like an orchestra and it has like a timing to it and a rhythm of like being like, oh, okay, this is happening in a sequence now, and this is timed to where I know this is really happening. And it's almost like a door, something that's opening, and I'm excited for that door to like present itself and to walk through it. And I'm such a Scorpio in that I really look forward to the entire process of it, even though I know it will be really painful and really brutal. But I sort of like really intense experiences. So
The Shining.
maybe it's for me. I don't know.
I mean, it could totally be for you, and I don't know. I don't know that it has to be brutal.
Right.
I feel like it's always intense, but intensity is not always purely pain, and it's not always brutal, like bad, like brutal
Right.
would seem to be. Sometimes it's intensely good.
Totally.
And
Totally.
I think if you go in with an open mind, the intensity can find its way to one way or the other. Like if you do feel safe,
Yeah.
then it could be really good, even though there's pain involved.
I would say if I have nerves, it's more postpartum related because I just truly have no idea what to expect from that. And I hope that I really only have like a very short amount of downtime before I do have to kind of start working again. And so I am nervous because I really just like have no foresight into how I'm going to feel physically. And so that would be my only anxiety in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think the postpartum period's a little rocky for most people anyway.
Hmm.
And just like intense doesn't have to be bad during birth, rocky doesn't have to be bad during postpartum. It's just bumpy terrain. It's different terrain. And, I sometimes say if you're in the right vehicle, rocky terrain could be a lot of fun.
Hmm.
You might want to go back again tomorrow.
I love
Um,
that.
but if you're in the family sedan, it's going to feel pretty crappy. So
Yeah.
you just got to be a little prepared for it. And yours is more unique than most because before you even get to like the 6 week checkup, you're off to work in another country. And it's before you even have a chance to really get your body moving again and get back into yourself. So it's going to be a little interesting. I think, though, that maybe your experience as a director will be helpful because it is, things you can't predict. And
Right.
there are things that you can't plan for exactly detail for detail. And you just kind of have to, as they happen, learn them in the moment and figure out the decisions and make them.
Mm.
And when you made the right one, take it as a win. When you made the wrong one, learn from it. And next time you'll do it differently. And then I think that's how all new things are. There's a learning curve.
Right, right. That's where all the
Um,
magic is.
yeah. And so you kind of have a history of already doing that kind of stuff. And I think it'll suit you. Also, I think being really well bonded with your partner will be good suiting for you. Do you have any other support structures in place, either people or
Yeah,
things?
yeah. My mom is gonna come right away and stay with us, and I also do have a night nurse, which I'm very, very excited about.
Those are two good things to have.
Yeah, so I feel good about that. I'm gonna have a nanny in Spain. Obviously, I have to while I'm working, and she's completely wonderful, and she's like a full body yes. She feels like a really wonderful woman. So I'm excited for that. And yeah, there's a lot I don't know, but I think I can do it. I just know it's a village.
Yeah, it sounds like you have the village people, so to speak, coming together to be there for you and with you.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
Are you close with your mom?
I am, yeah. It's been really cool to see my mom transition into becoming a grandmother. I have two siblings with small children under the age of two, three boys. So this is the first girl in the family. And my mom is such an incredible grandmother. And it's been healing for me to see her become a grandmother. She's a really good one. And I was very, very close with my maternal grandmother. So it definitely feels like the circle of life.
Sounds great. How long will you be in Spain for?
I'll be there for about 10 to 12 weeks.
Oh, a few months. And then after that, when you come back, do you get a break or is that whole post?
No, no break. I get back, go straight into the edit, and it's about 12 weeks.
Wow. Okay. Well, I am very excited to learn how all of this goes.
Me too. Let's say Egypt.
I'm curious to know how your birth starts and goes, and that excited part that you're looking forward to feeling that and experiencing it, and then how labor progresses and what that feels like to you and what your experience is of it. And even postpartum, having to juggle all that, I think you're going to be okay.
You're
You're,
going to be needing to do some adjustments.
I will be definitely
I
there
get
for
that.
you. Part of your village. I am part of your village. But I'm grateful that you came and shared all this with us so far. And I look forward to your post-birth episode when we get the rest of the story.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Carlson, where can we find you online?
Online, I'm on Instagram. I'm just Carlson Young on Instagram and then Carlson Young on Twitter. Those are my handles.
And on Facebook, Kate Mara.
Yeah.
All right, Carlson Young, thank you again for joining us at home. Thanks for listening to the Informed Pregnancy Podcast. For more pregnancy and parenting information just like this, visit us online at informedpregnancy.com.